I shoot a lot of video on my iPhone 15 Pro Max, 4K, HDR, 60 frames per second. And then I edit those files on one of two devices, my iPad Pro or my high-end PC. This is the iPad Pro with the M4 chip. This PC has Intel's latest flagship CPU, the Core Ultra 9 285K, as well as 64 gigs of DDR5 6000 speed RAM and a 4070 Ti Super video card. So this machine is no slouch. I'm going to talk about cost. I'm going to talk about workflow. I'm going to talk about color. And I'm going to talk about how these machines handle these files. What happens when I try to edit files in Premiere Pro, and what happens when I try to edit files in LumaFusion on the iPad. Let's get to it. Let's discuss cost first. This machine cost me about $1,800 bucks. LumaFusion cost me 20 bucks. $1,820 all total to edit files on my iPad Pro. This machine cost me about $3,000. And then to use Premiere Pro, you have to have a subscription to Adobe. I'm a teacher, so I get my subscription for about 30 bucks per month. Let's say for the next 5 years, I pay for the Adobe subscription. That's $3,000 plus $1,800, so about $4,800 to edit iPhone files on my PC. So the winner here is clearly the iPad. Let's talk about getting files from my phone to my PC and getting files from my phone to my iPad. To get files to my PC, I use an app called VLC on my phone. I shoot the video, I save the video file to VLC, I plug in my phone to my PC using a Thunderbolt cable so I get fast transfer speeds. And then I open up iTunes, I click the little iPhone icon, I click file sharing, I click VLC, and then I choose the video that I want to import and I save it to wherever I want on my computer. To set that up is a little bit of a pain, but once it's set up, it's pretty easy. Although there are still a few steps to get it done. To transfer files from my phone to my iPad, I simply airdrop them. I have a fast network in my house, so that goes pretty quickly and there's no compression of the files. They're the same exact size. So that works really well and it's super easy. It's basically a one-click transfer. If you don't have a fast network, you can use a Thunderbolt cable, connect this device to your phone, and then import your files from your iPhone to your iPad. That's also a quick and painless process. So as far as getting files from my phone to one of these devices, again, the iPad wins, but only by a slight margin in this case. Let's talk about color. The files that I shoot on my iPhone are HDR files. I'll be honest with you folks, in Premiere Pro, as you can see, they are washed out, they don't look right. I have to do a bunch of color grading and editing to get the color to look even close to right. If you Google the problem, HDR files from iPhone in Premiere Pro, you'll see there are threads and threads and threads about this problem. People struggle to get HDR files edited correctly in Premiere Pro. It's a problem. It's a problem. There are lots of workarounds, and some people get real close to the way the original file is supposed to look, but the colors are way off in Premiere Pro if you're bringing over HDR files from an iPhone. It's a big pain in the butt, I'll be honest with you. Using my iPad and LumaFusion, the colors are exactly the way they're supposed to be. There are no steps you have to take. The colors are just perfect. And then you export to HDR and you have a beautiful HDR movie when you're done. No effort needed. Winner, without a doubt, iPad Pro and LumaFusion. Okay, last thing I want to talk about is file handling. How do these devices handle these files? I mean, 4K, HDR, 60 FPS video files, they're big, dense files. So some machines have trouble with them. I would think that a high-end PC like this would have no trouble editing iPhone files. Let's see how this PC does handling this file that I'm going to bring over. So as you can see, when I have this file in Premiere Pro, I can't scrub through the timeline without it freezing up on me and looking terrible. So I basically can't work with this file. The only way to get around that is to create preview files. So I can create a preview file. Let's see how long that's going to take. as you can see, to create a preview file of this 6-minute clip, it's going to take quite a bit of time. Do I really want to sit around and wait for that? And then what happens, once I create the preview file, I can edit no problem. But if I change the color or add transitions or anything, I have to re-render it again. Otherwise, it's all glitchy again. So editing files in Premiere Pro from an iPhone, HDR 4K 60 FPS files, is kind of a joke, to be honest with you, unless I'm missing something here. Am I missing something? If I am, somebody please tell me what I'm missing and how to make this work, because I honestly have no idea. Now let's talk about this. This right here, I have some 4K files. Look at this. No glitching, no freezing, nothing. I can just go right through that timeline, no problem. Look at that. Just smooth, easy. This is a 4K HDR file, 60 frames per second. And I can just scrub through that timeline with no troubles whatsoever. I can't describe it or explain it, but this device with LumaFusion can handle the files from an iPhone. Obviously it's an Apple product and an iPhone is an Apple product, but come on. A $3,000 machine with a high-end video card, a flagship CPU, tons of RAM, and an industry standard like Premiere Pro, it can't handle these iPhone files? I find that a little bit flabbergasting. But anyway, if you want to edit your iPhone files on a nice machine, this is it right here. The iPad Pro with the M4 chip. Forget Premiere Pro, forget your PC. Now if you want to edit other kinds of video files on your PC, hey, this is a great machine for it. If you want to game on your PC, this is a great machine for it. If you want to edit photos in Lightroom, this is a great machine for it. But editing iPhone files on this thing, forget it.